What's up, y'all? We're Mango and Ginger. We're at the 25-Hour Hotel, and you are now tuned in to those guys.
TB.
All right, so we are here today with the incredible Mango and Ginger.
Jeez.
Hi, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Hey!
Okay, in sync.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Double up? Like, what's that? Inception, in sync. All right, cool.
My
Good
very
start.
beautiful co-host, Mr. Travis.
Hey, guys. Thank you for letting me join this moment. It's our first time, too.
It is.
All right? So,
Yeah.
since it is your first one, let's just jump straight into it.
Yeah.
When did you two meet? When was this original friendship started?
2015?
15, 16-ish. 15.
Yeah, let's go with 15.
2015?
Yeah.
8 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. And like individually before that, where was the music? Like, were you always, obviously you love music, it's evident, but when were you starting to be drawn towards this world of DJing and perhaps like putting on, when did you start feeling that?
Well, my passion towards music has been since I can remember about, I don't even have an age of that time, but I know I was just entering middle school at the time, and so this was more of a space where I was having more awareness of kind of like my surroundings, myself, and my relationships with my brother.
Okay.
And so my brother, he has his own hip hop group, and so he's extremely passionate about music. So he would just naturally play, music all the time, and we shared a room at the time. And so I remember the first moment where he played an instrumental for me, and I just felt this out of body experience. So the love started there, and then I started to grow in my own taste. I collected records for many years, and I didn't know exactly that I wanted to DJ. I just know I wanted to do something with music. So whether if that was like being a producer or honestly like maybe scoring a film, like to that extent, I wanted to do anything with it. But I guess when it came down to going to shows, like hip hop shows with my brother, that's when I started to see like, okay, yeah, this is something I can curate.
So low key, she wrote some bars back in the day.
know,
Then,
right?
right? There's no way you couldn't have. With
What
her
was the
older brother's a
instrumental?
rapper.
What was the instrumental like?
Aryan Dance by Nujabes. Yeah.
And that
It's
was it?
Yeah. That was the one. Yeah.
Okay. And
I think for me, music has been more so driven by dance first. So I love to dance, and so I was always drawn to Brazilian music first as a kid. I just remember like the cookouts and just listening to any rhythm you can dance to, and that was always where I was drawn to. And I felt like I also didn't plan to be a DJ. It was never like something I aspired to. It was more so, I guess I was always in charge of, I was always responsible to bring the music to whatever party or get together, or drive from point A to point B. It was like
you had the
Yeah, I was about to say, they gave you the option. Sure.
So
you were just always on point with the new music and showing your friends stuff as well. Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think I have an older sister too, so I think the influence, my sister took me in a whole different direction. It was very much like 80s and punk rock, but the cool thing about that is it just like expanded
Exactly.
And so she definitely exposed me to like all different types of music.
Yeah, older siblings are great for that.
For sure.
Changes. It literally changes so much, and the influence was incredible.
Yeah.
So 8 years ago, you guys meet. You already love music. When did you decide to like become a duo?
I would say 2020, right?
What happened was she had just like finished school, Scratch Academy, right?
Yeah.
That's the name. And so but it was like the pandemic, so nothing was really happening.
Right.
And so we went to Vegas one time. We were driving down, and I was like, hey, you need like some, like people don't even know you DJ yet. And I shoot video and photography, so I was like, let me get some shots of you. Yeah. So we literally pulled over on our drive from LA to Vegas. There's like just desert.
Yeah.
And we just pulled over, and like set up like her controller.
Yeah.
What's
Got
up?
my drone out. We did a whole shoot.
Oh,
Cool.
And I was like, she's like, oh man, I wish I could like repay you. Like, I want to do something for you because you did this for me. And I was like, could you teach me? Like, just
Fire.
something
Yeah.
basic, just so I could like
Nice
kind of play
trade.
around.
Yeah.
And she was like, all right, cool. So when we came back home from Vegas, we sat with it, and she kind of just like was showing me a little bit. And then she's like, I'm going to go to the living room because her mom was like cooking. I think people were coming over. So she went to go hang out. I stayed in her room alone, door closed. And I was just like messing with it for like an hour. And I was getting so excited. I was like, this is amazing. And she would pop in the room every so often and check on me. And she's like, how's it going? I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And so, and I was leaving, I lived in LA at that time. And then literally the next day I was leaving. And so I go home, get out, like land in Jacksonville, Florida, leave the airport, went straight to Guitar Center, bought the same controller and went home and like,
that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was kind of the start. And then I think one day she was like, we should just do this together. And I was like, all right.
How long did it take for you to get like comfortable with like the equipment, comfortable with like your sound as well?
For me, because I didn't actually go to school for it,
Right.
so I think, and because it's not, I have other jobs, other careers, so I've never felt like I could devote my time to it.
Right.
Thank you. So to be honest, it's really been in the last few months that I've like started to feel more comfortable and confident in like the equipment itself.
Yeah.
But as far as sound goes, I feel like I've known from the beginning, like I already knew, because it was all stuff that every time we go out, I'd be like, damn, I wish they would play this kind of music.
Right,
And I'd always feel like it just felt short every time.
Yeah.
And so I always knew what I wanted our sound to be, because like I said, it's always been super tied to dancing for me.
Yeah.
So anything.
It's very evident.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that the same for both of you as well in terms of your sound as well? Do you think that you just had a sound that just really nicely complemented each other, or was it a conversation that, okay, this is where like I think we should be?
Well, I think naturally, because I would listen to a specific genre, prior to meeting her, and I was more set on that. And then meeting her, she would listen to songs and genres that I loved as well, but it just wasn't in my like library,
Right.
like not something that I had like in my likes or just like saved stuff.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I want to invite more of this sound. So like what that naturally brings is like me having more types of genres rather than she does. Like she can dominate a little more on Bailey sometimes, and then vice versa, and then so we balance each other out.
Yeah.
And also it depends on like our moods and like the aesthetic that we want to come with, or our environment. Honestly, it's like ever shifting. And I think like we have a good duality of like playing some hardcore shit, like, or some like pretty synth sounds, very like beautiful soulful sounds. So yeah, it's kind of honestly all over the place, I would say, but in the best of ways.
Yes,
Yeah, definitely. So anyone that would go to one of your shows, like they'll get a different experience each time, basically.
For the most part.
Yeah. I mean, I think we try to always like get a feel for, like, there's a couple parties in LA that are known for like, it's a more rave vibe.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we know this crowd enjoys this, so we're gonna take them to a rave.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we kind of try to cater to
your audience.
Yeah, because you want them to have the experience they're looking to have when they get there.
Of course.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
just
we're
gonna
not so
play just what
stubborn.
we want.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Okay, I have to know the name. Mango and Ginger. All right, I know who's who. Well, you can tell everybody, but I need to know what's up. Like, there's a story there for sure.
A great story.
this is you.
Listen.
All right. Well, it all started in the mountains, and I was on mushrooms.
Oh, I love that. Already a great start.
Yeah, it was an intense time, to be honest. I went on a hike with a friend, and it was a rough time. It was just like really going deep into the process, and it was so hot, and the bugs were attacking us. It was just like a lot of things happening all at once. But towards the end of the hike, on our way back, I reached in my pocket. I just had I didn't even know I had something in my pocket, but when I reached in my pocket, I had one of those ginger chews. and specifically, it was a mango and ginger chew.
Stop this. No way. That's
But just the fact of me like finding it in my pocket in that moment after that whole experience, and then just looking down and like just feeling that sweetness of just like, but also zoning into that moment like so hardcore. It just
because
like,
of the mushrooms.
yes, of course.
Partially.
Naturally.
And yeah, it just felt like everything, like time stopped in that moment, and just like that inner knowing just really, you know.
Something was happening.
Yeah. Oh,
She literally hit me up and was like, I got the name. I got the name. And I didn't, the funny thing is, I didn't question it. I was like, and I had never even had mango and ginger or mango and ginger chew. Like I had never even heard of that, but I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, dope. You love it. Great. But
shotgun mango.
Yeah.
That's what you like. Yeah.
I was like, as long as I'm mango, we're good.
Exactly.
It's my favorite
Exactly.
fruit. And she's like, yeah.
At first we didn't know. We're just like, we're kind of both. We're both mango and ginger.
Yeah, it was
and
like us figuring it out.
Okay.
yeah. So
She's
we
for
established
sure,
it.
Yeah,
Nice.
she's
Yeah.
for sure ginger.
Yeah,
though.
I'm ginger.
Got you.
All right.
Mango.
Why is you for sure ginger and your mango?
I guess we kind of just piece it together. You know, her favorite fruit is mango. It's also mine, but you know, and just naturally, like I'm a little more spicier.
Yeah.
So ginger's spicy. You know,
We also kind of like, I think for me, Bianca, since I've known her, she's been I always say she's my earthy crunchy friend, which I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but it's like, you know, she's the like into astrology and like Zen and, you know, and that was new for me. That's very like LA.
Yeah.
But she was like my first friend that was really tapped into all that. So I was like, yeah, you got that like healing, you know, earthy crunchy vibe. So it kind of was
explain
like
the crunchy part though, because when I heard this at first, I was like,
crunchy, like
I get it though. Ginger
like
is how. Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
Just
Okay.
No, before mango and ginger.
Before that.
Before even this existed, I always just thought of like earthy crunchy because, you know, it's like the granola bars that are crunchy and then like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, it was kind of, it made sense to me. But so when she said, I was like, yeah, ginger, because she's like, has the like healing properties because ginger has a lot of that. And then, but also she's like got a kick.
Yeah.
she got that spice and I'm a little more like soft.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You know what's really dope? So yesterday's date, I don't know if you guys clocked this, but yesterday's date was June 17th, and that's actually the very first day that you guys posted on Mango and Ginger. So yesterday,
Oh, shit.
Anniversary.
Your research.
2 years to the day. Yesterday.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah. So
amazing.
I was curious when you guys posted the Mango and Ginger experience. Did you ever think
Whoa, I'm getting emotional.
that it would take
Yeah.
you?
Listen.
It would take you all the way here. This is 2 years later, and you're fucking. Are we allowed to swear?
100%.
So yeah. So
Sorry,
you fucking you're in Dubai. You're doing your first interview, and like things are clearly just on their way up. So like, was that ever like a thought, or has it just been? It's just you guys are so in sync that this was just meant to be.
I mean, also well done for like
Yeah, of
how
course,
like
definitely.
far
Smash
you've gone. Like, feel it because like you guys clearly worked so hard to get to like this point, and this is literally just the beginning.
No doubt.
Only just started.
100%.
I told you I'm soft.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay.
Emotional.
It's
Give it
all
a
right. We're not robots, but yeah, like it's important to also look back and like see like where you came from and to like where you are now. So you should be super proud of yourself.
Yeah, it's dope.
I mean,
Yeah.
since you put it in that perspective, of the specific date, like that hits harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It does. Wow.
Feels surreal.
Yeah, 100% not. We did not imagine being in Dubai right now doing a podcast.
It's crazy.
And yeah, it's beautiful. We're constantly reflective towards our journey and extremely grateful for every step. Yeah, we definitely express it through like looking at each other during our sets, and we're just like, it's just like a, energetic, like, all right.
I don't know if you guys caught or saw after the link up, because for us up until now, the link up was like the biggest event that we had done. Big deal for us. We're super big fans of Andre, and so it was just like so and then he got on the mic after our set and was like, this has been hands down by far my favorite set at Link Up, And when he
Wow.
said that, I looked at her, and I think there's a little clip of this, and it was just like, we made it. You know, like, you know,
for real. That's
and
I
it's
don't know
very
how
high
much more you
praise.
can make
Yeah.
it.
And I
In
feel
LA, the selection dude.
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Insane.
fucking
Yeah,
incredible.
he's like, I don't know how to top
Yeah,
that.
because he DJ'd right after us. He's
Mm.
like, I don't even know what to do now.
Wow.
Damn.
You know,
Yeah.
and
That's crazy.
so I think
Yeah.
like every time we finish a set, we always like hug it out, no matter big or small. Like
Yeah.
I always go back because people, you know, send us all the airdrop, all the videos
Right.
after, and we watch it back, and we're like, I realize every time it's that feeling of like, we did that,
Yeah.
you know, and so it's a great feeling.
And how did the link up party happen? Like, how did that connect happen?
He came to a party. We DJ'd an event called Conexión, and he came with Sasha Marie.
Right.
And he caught our set. They were like right there, the booth right next to us.
Yeah.
And I think at one point he had like hit us up on Instagram and was like, you know, you guys killed it, whatever. And Sasha said that too. At this point it was tough because I had just like left LA. I'm always back and forth because I'm not living there right now. But when I went back there, I was there for like 2 weeks, and then he hit me up and he's like, hey, do you guys want to DJ this Sunday? And this was a Friday or Thursday. He's like, do you want to DJ this Sunday at the link up? And I was like, yeah, but my flight was leaving the next day. I was already leaving LA.
Right.
And so I was like, but I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And so I'm not in town. And he's like, I was like, but Bianca's in town. And he's like, no, I want Mango
Both
and
of you.
Ginger together. Like,
Yeah.
I need that energy. I
Yeah.
saw you guys at Conexión. Like, I want that.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, okay. And
Your
I was like, how about like next month? And he was like, or he asked me, how about next month? And I was like, yeah. And but then looked at my schedule and I couldn't. I was traveling for a job, and I was like, what about June? And he's like, oh, we're not doing June. And I was like, dang. And he's like, can you just try to change your flight? And I was like, okay, let me call the airline. So I did, and then I talked to them, and you know, paid a little fee, and
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, it's worth it.
No, not worth it.
And and then we were like, yeah, for sure, we're down.
Yeah.
And so it seems like a lot of things kind of pop up last minute. I don't know if that's like all the time with like DJing and stuff, but
I feel like everywhere it's
kinda-
Yeah.
there.
except for
It's,
here.
yeah, because you gotta get permits and everything. So like you can't do like a whole like yo play this weekend unless it's like a
I mean, I
Sometimes.
don't know. I
But
feel
even-
like
yeah. I mean, there's a way around it, of course. But it's
even-
not as much as like in Toronto or like LA, I guess.
Yeah.
Like New
But
York.
even booking coming here
yeah.
felt, especially for traveling internationally, everything
course.
like was
Right.
kind of somewhat
Yeah, last minute.
last minute.
Yeah.
So you know, but we don't question it. We're just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
just go. Yeah, just flow with it.
So we got the history of y'all. Could you like maybe explain like what is your musical style and like perhaps where you started and then how it has evolved as the more and more you're playing to different crowds and you're finding better edits, whatever, like more things that really are you. How has it evolved? And then you guys just landed in this perfect pocket where you guys are sitting in a great space. So like what was that experience like to like find that together, and what do you play? Like what will people expect from you? You know what I mean?
I think it was just like our constant journey with sharing music with each other, and that like comparison,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, this track is hot. Oh no, but this track would go better with this joint, you know. Yeah, I guess just like having each other's feedback with like song selection and transitions and what sounds like cleaner. But as of like before what I used to play or musically select, the quality wasn't as good, and like I kind of cringe a little bit on some of the
part of the
song
journey.
choices.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like that's natural. Yeah.
I feel like as far as sound, 'cause you were asking about our sound, for me specifically, and I think everybody kind of like, I'm Bailey Funk all the way.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody knows
I
that.
think we feel it. Yeah.
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 And I don't know. It's still, that's the thing. So I started like that because I was like, that was the music I wanted to listen to so bad, and LA wasn't bumping it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now in the last like year,
hearing a lot more.
Last
It's
summer,
gone up.
it's been like, you know, a lot of world parties are popping up, so they're getting into it.
Yeah.
But back like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, nobody.
not.
And I was asking all my, because she wasn't DJing yet, I wasn't DJing.
Yeah.
So I'd try to like slip it to my DJ friends and be like, hey, yo, play this track.
Yeah, yeah.
But they were just like, nah, okay, no. And nobody
Yeah.
was playing it. And so the second I learned, and I remember her first mix that she did before, you know, she taught me, I asked her, I was like, can you make a baile mix?
Yeah.
And so I've just been wanting it so bad that as soon as I learned, I was like,
Straight to it.
I'm gonna do that. But I think, so where I've expanded, I feel like now I'm listening to a lot more, I don't know, like I'm more open to, not that I wasn't open, because I've always
Of course. You
all
love
different types of
genres.
music, but now
Yeah.
I'm like, I enjoy DJing other sounds as well.
Yeah.
Like I love DJing like tropical house, and, you know, so I guess in that sense, I've just like expanded as far as what I want to listen to when I'm out as well. And
Yeah.
so I incorporate that in what I'm gonna DJ.
Yeah.
So
then with that then, if you weren't hearing baile funk until you were playing it, how do you feel like the audience is responsive to it when you first started playing it, if it wasn't something that they were super used to?
I think they were we booked our first gig a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
We did an event called Sudamericana, which is like Latin,
Yeah.
but it's like reggaeton all the way.
Okay.
And so when she brought us on, Paula, we were just kind of like, okay, but we're gonna like do our thing. And I felt like, it's funny because I was kind of thrown, because I had never, again, this was my first time DJing. She had done some gigs before, but pretty much this was like our first legit thing.
Yeah.
And I was so thrown because people weren't like dancing. They were just watching
They
us.
didn't know how to respond to it.
And I was
Right.
like, I don't know if they're into the music or not, but everybody was just watching
On you.
as if we
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
like a concert. And I was like,
Right.
I don't know if this is normal, because when I go out, I'm not just watching the DJ.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like vibing. I'm with
Enjoying
my
it.
friends,
Yeah. Right.
you know, and people were just like, and they were bopping.
Right.
So I'm like, I couldn't
Rocking
read.
with
Are
it.
they
Yeah,
into
haven't
it?
seen
They're
this,
not.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's new to them.
So
And I think it's also interesting for the men too, because it's like naturally women are, you know, they're throwing ass to baile, but men are just kind of like, "Alright, what do I do?"
yeah.
And now that I think there's more like visual representation as of like TikTok, you know, people are doing
Sure.
dances. It's
Yeah.
right.
that's definitely helped like grow
Yeah,
the
TikTok.
scene, and people are
Exactly.
hearing it and getting more accustomed to it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because naturally people gravitate to things they know
Yeah.
and
Of
that
course.
they can sing
Exactly.
along to.
Yeah.
But I think that's key. Like what we've been trying to do is just find edits that are like, okay, it's gonna be a Drake song or something
Yeah.
that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Familiar,
So
but it's still in your
Exactly.
world.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
bringing them.
it's like you're spoon feeding. Like,
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
okay, this is
Yeah.
what it is, guys. But then we like to throw in
In
the,
between,
like,
you give the
Yeah.
deep cuts. So yeah, of course, you
Yeah,
got it.
because
Exactly.
we were noticing when we were playing like the originals, people were still like unsure. But then when I played, it was like a Kid Cudi baile funk edit.
Nice.
People were going crazy
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Nice.
you know they know
They
that
sing
joint.
along, and
Exactly.
but there's
Yes.
more energy and they're bouncing.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course,
Exactly.
of
So-
course.
But I think at this point, like people, it's really
Yeah.
become more norm.
Yeah.
And you know, Rihanna did a baile edit at the Super Bowl,
Right.
so it's like everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
It's popping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember when I first heard baile funk, I was listening to a guy, Giles Peterson. He's a big like UK DJ.
Mhm.
I remember I was like a kid, 14-year-old kid doing like art coursework. I was late, obviously. And it was like 4 a.m. in the morning. And I heard this music. I'm like, what is this? And then every week I would find myself like staying up or waking up to be able to hear the show, because like I heard all this kind of music that I'd not heard before. It was just so exciting, so different to what I was hearing.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Who would you, if any, like, are your musical inspirations, or even like some DJs that inspire you, or like you can see you are emulating in some way, shape, or form, whether it be an artist or a DJ? Is there anyone that comes to mind?
Actually, two cats from Selection. I would say Shaka Lion is a huge inspiration for me, and Sango.
Fire.
Sango, yes.
Yeah, we
So-
love
Can't go
Sango.
wrong.
We
Sango.
saw him live.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw
So-
him live at a festival.
yes, and we pushed our way to the front.
Yeah.
It was, what was that festival in LA?
Smoking Grooves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were in the front. And when I tell you, these people were not ready for whatever we were doing in the front. And then the security was like, do you guys want to come meet him? 'Cause we were so, and I don't think they were like, yeah, I don't know what they they were like, these girls are crazy. I don't know what's going on. But they were like, come meet them. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we got to say hi real quick.
Amazing.
We tried to slip the idea of like, can you backup dancers?
Yeah.
But, you know, he didn't go. He's like, my wife won't like that.
Let me check
Fair
in with
enough.
my wife first.
So, but then
Hold on,
fast-
wait.
yeah, it was like that. We were like, oh yeah. But then super cool. Fast forward like a few years later. So last summer I went to my first Selection event in New York.
Awesome.
And I went with some homies that are DJs, and so I got to like hang out backstage, whatever. And it was I was nervous, and I walk in the trailer, and I was like, because I saw him, right?
No. Yeah.
I saw Sango, and I was like, and so I grabbed my phone. I was like, I gotta go. And he's like, Simone, chill. And I was just like, it's. He's like, chill. You want to say hi? And I was like, no, I don't want to say hi. And so I was being a creep because she knew I was gonna be there. So I'm making videos like, and I'm sending it to her. She's like, say hi.
Absolutely.
And so at one point, I, managed to work up the courage. I went over and I was like, so you like Brazil? I don't know what I said. Started trying to talk to him about Brazil and stuff. He's like, yeah, I love Brazil. So we talking a little bit, and then I was like, can I FaceTime my sister so she can say hi?
So she knows it's real.
Yeah, so then I FaceTime her, and he was so cool, like hanging out, talking.
Did you remember you guys?
No. I don't even know if I brought it up because I was like, I don't know. let me be cool girl right now.
The hugest fail though is that I attempted to take a screenshot, and you know the white button on FaceTime, or you
Like a
can
little
take a
circle
screenshot.
button?
It only takes a photo of the person.
So you
So-
can't see that it was her on
Yeah.
FaceTime.
I was just so
Just-
excited.
okay.
I didn't properly take a screenshot.
I'll
so,
Photoshop
yeah.
you and I got you.
One
I'm sure
day.
you can get a real photo now though, so it's all good.
Oh no, for sure.
So like being in a duo, right? I've worked with duos. I'm in one, and I know that every person is different. So I'm sure that you have some strengths that she will not, and vice versa. So I want you guys to answer this reverse. What are like some individual strengths the other one has that has contributed directly towards your current success and growth that you are, I guess, thankful for one another? Give you guys a little cute moment.
Oh, man. I can go down a whole list.
Yeah, of course.
It's not only it's not just one thing. That's for sure.
That's dope.
I would say.
Here we go.
I would say the drive, creative mind, the intention, the love, the passion. Yeah, I feel like honestly we match each other on so many things, but her drive is just insane. Like she's like early bird that I am not. And she's it's insane, like the amount of things that she fills her day with just to be busy and and yeah, it's just inspiring, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as she basically said, I'm low key like a crackhead. Like I'm just like trying to do a million things, and she's like, so it's like she comes, and not that I'm. She's just like she just brings like a calm, and it brings that
country
balance. Yeah. And also she has this like confidence, especially like when we're going into, I just feel safe. She just gives me this like protective, feeling, which is funny because she's like 5 years younger than me. But I just feel like safe with her, and I feel like she's gonna like, I don't know, she's like kind of the backbone. And then, it's like a perfect balance where, she sometimes might, I need to be like, all right, B, let's go. And she's just, but then when she's like, hey, so it like really, really works out. Yeah.
Okay, now answer for yourself. With that individuality that you have, how are you finding balance when you come into the collaborative space together? How are you bringing yourself to meet in the middle of this mango and ginger? I'm sure you guys are aligned with 99% of it, but I'm sure there's always like a one little tiny thing, branding, whatever, names, whatever. So how do you balance that?
I mean, I think we definitely give each other space to like express, and we hear each other out. I think, or at least I tried to think, I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong. For the most part, I think, you know, I'll give my opinion about something, but I'm always down to just kind of take the back seat when it comes to like musically and DJing, because I don't know, I feel like she is kind of leading us more in that sense. I trust like that she knows better than I do. So I'll give my opinion on something, but yeah, I trust her vision on like, you know, I feel like she's just more knowledgeable in the world of DJing and music than I am. So
You're still learning from her.
yeah, for sure.
Course,
For sure. So I think that, but I still feel like it's always collaborative, and we do it together. But I think if there's a time where like we're at odds about like where we want the music to go or whatever, I kind of feel like I end up being like, all right, whatever you think is best, you know? But she's always like down to be like, no, yeah, let's talk about it. And like, you know, let's find like the middle ground or whatever we, like if I'm like, no, I think we gotta like pick it up at this point, or let's start strong, and she's like, no, I think we should ease into it or whatever. I don't know. I feel like it's just so easy for us to like talk it over and just be like,
Communication is what you guys are right.
I think that's where it's like, I don't know, yeah. And maybe that's why I feel like things are happening kind of fast with us, especially because, to be honest, like we haven't even really started putting full energy into like doing this. Like, you know, we're both like doing other things, and I have like a million other like career things that I'm doing. So it's kind of crazy that things are happening the way they are. So I think that it's happening that way because we work so well together.
Yeah.
And we have this vibe that hopefully people can feel it.
Yeah.
I think so. Definitely. You want to expand on any of that? Or?
No, man, I think, yeah.
I do want to say, don't give me all the credit. No. You have a strong vision, and you take charge in a lot of areas when it comes to the high energy with the music. Like you can take it there, and sometimes I have like that fear of like, oh, are we doing too much? You know, but then
Nah,
like
there's never
you
too
take
much.
Never.
exactly
too
that
much.
energy.
Okay,
So
loser.
it's like so it's that. So like yeah, she helps me get me out of my comfort zone when it comes to, you know, music selection, and as of like just being me. Like
Getting her outside of, but staying behind the DJ booth, because you know, I'm like, let's hit this
yeah.
choreography.
But
yeah,
also
love that.
it feels cool to like be able to like be in like my own energy, and like she does her own thing, and I don't feel like one is dimming the other. Like we're just
A nice balance.
yeah.
That's the
we're
key.
solid.
Equilibrium.
Yeah,
That's the key too. I feel like I remember when she first was like, let's do this together. I felt kind of like, this is your thing though, you know, like she's like the DJ, and at the time, or for me, it was like, I don't want to take like your thing, you know, because sometimes it can feel like that, and especially with women, it can get very competitive. And so I think that that's the other beautiful part of us, is that there's not that like competition.
Yeah.
It's not about like, oh, I got to show out and like
Yeah.
this and that, and you know, it's
Yeah.
just always
No ego.
Enough space for
No.
everybody, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
and that's so rare. That's so rare, and I've, especially with my experience in LA, it's just so rare. And so I'm super, and I've told her before, like I'm super grateful that she was willing to like share like this experience with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could have
I
just
wouldn't
been
do
like
it
doing her
any
own
other
thing.
way.
You guys.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all are cute. Okay, it's like, give us some insight. Walk us through your creative process when you are like, let's say like you're preparing for a set. How are you building this together? You coming with record, like
Yeah.
We always try to. I think it seems like, at least as of the more recent, you know, few months or something, I feel like we're always like, how should we open? Because I think you're
Yeah.
just setting a tone, right?
Right.
And hopefully that's just, I don't know. Yeah, you want people to like, you know, like whatever they're doing, they're taking a shot at the bar, be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like lately it's been like, you know, how are we gonna start? And then I think from there, really, oftentimes we'll just be like, hey, look at the tracks I've found, or like new things that we're excited about, kind of share with each other. And then we kind of like both work on it separately. We'll pop in our headphones sitting next to each other, but kind of like, and then I'll be like, hey, this is what I got. This is the direction I started going. It should be like, okay, cool, this is what I got. And then we kind of just mix and match and be like, okay, let's do this, and then we'll do that, and kind of just start building that way. But we always try to like, let's get a starting point. Like, what's our first song gonna be? And then we kind of set the tone. And then our last song, like we really try to, I guess the first and last, just how do we want people to like remember us, or how do we want to like, leave the space?
First and last impressions. So, do you guys have any pre-gig rituals that you like? Maybe you do know, maybe you don't know, but like, is there anything that?
How did you prepare for tonight?
Like, is there something you find yourself doing?
Yeah.
Embarrassed to say, but we'll tell you guys the truth.
Yes, please.
We get a little nervous, so
we may or may not take a shot or two of Jaeger.
One?
Just
one?
I'm trying to.
I take like 3 before I start DJing.
Don't.
Pre-ordered you a bottle.
Oh yeah. We have a little thing with Jaeger, and nobody judges, please.
No judgment.
It's just it just gets us where we gotta go, and it's just sets the
but
tone.
very intentional with before we take a sip, though.
Yeah, we do a whole thing. We tap the bottle twice.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
say
So
like,
you actually have a full ass ritual.
no,
That's crazy.
and we'll say like, what do we want out of the night? We do a whole little speech,
Nice.
and then like say
yeah.
how grateful we are for each other, and then
setting the intention,
Yeah.
tone.
And we're talking about just straight Jaeger, not like Jaeger bombs.
just straight Jaeger.
Okay.
And sometimes we'll like chase it with like a Red Bull,
Yeah.
or like
Or
a pineapple juice.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It would be
Jaeger and
mango,
pineapple.
but it's actually
it
pretty
cancels
good.
Serious?
out the strong
Yeah, it's pretty
taste.
good.
We're going to find out
got it
tonight.
down to
We're
a
Yeah.
gonna find out
This might
tonight.
be my new drink.
We're still like, hey, how do we get sponsored by Jaeger? You know, I don't know, but
Hear that,
Well,
Jaeger? Yo, well
listen.
done. We're running the
We'll
check.
give this to you for free, but the next one.
All right, we're running the check. You're going to bleep it out.
and dancing, like blast music and
Well,
dancing,
yeah.
or
Of
so we
course,
get
that's
hype.
the warm
Okay.
We do these. Especially me doing that, trying to dislocate her arm. So like, but yeah.
Who holds the USB? Or do you have two?
I usually hold the USB.
And
Yeah.
you're the trustworthy
Yeah.
one.
Have you ever lost the USB?
She actually lost it one time. We went to do a roller disco DJ thing back in December, and we each had one,
Yeah.
and we were, you gonna do a whole like back-to-back situation, and so now we just do one USB. So we don't gotta.
Okay.
But I took it out of my bag and handed it to her, and then between that second and 2 minutes of getting on the stage, gone. So
That Jagger shot.
I don't know what happened,
can't
but
even deny that.
after that, I was like, okay, we're gonna just bring one, worry about one, but she's still the responsible one.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
So you discussed earlier like how there's so many parties right now, right? Like that are bouncing around within cities or city to city. They're all very worldly, and it's amazing. Like all these communities are coming together, and it's so beautiful. And you guys are obviously a part of so many of them. But at the same time, when you're looking into it, it almost feels like it could be oversaturated with the same piano edits or like all the same stuff. But through all of that, over the last few months, you guys still managed to rise above that and still get like recognition and be recognized for your talents. And obviously, it's a part of like the genuine energy that you obviously have and your curation. But I was like, I think it's also because of how heavily you guys infuse your like heritage and culture, and you're just so like loud and proud of it.
Yeah.
And I was curious, like, was that like intentional? Like, was that a conscious decision where you're thinking like, okay, as we're branding ourselves as Mango and Ginger, like we are so proud of our culture and heritage that we're gonna do this, and you found like a little niche, like little pocket where you guys could fit in being true and proud to yourselves, but also if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it loud. So like the jerseys, the flags, they're running up at every set. You know what I mean? So like, was that like ever like a conscious decision to like put it on?
I think it's just very organic.
To be honest, I feel like that's how I live my life daily. Like we both have Brazil map tattooed on our backs. Wow. Like, like I know her too, but I'll speak for myself. I've repped Brazil hard, like, you know, in all areas of my life. Like I got the flag on my car, like you bet you're gonna know. Because I love my culture. Yeah. And I feel super grateful to have that. And I feel like I'm just so proud, and I love it, and I want to share it with people, and I hope that they love it too. And I think we just always naturally, like, we're wearing things with like Brazil little flags and things like that, and then it kind of, we go out to other people's parties. They probably hated us. We go to other people's parties and we bring the little Brazil flag.
One Bailey track, and we're like,
the one Bailey track comes on. We're like, oh, and you know, obnoxiously like waving it. So I think it just like became a thing where everybody's like, okay, here comes the Brazilians, like, you know, and I think like, and then but now that Bailey's being played so much, and especially in LA, I'll say we just kind of felt like, especially for me, I there was like back in 2017, 18, I was trying so hard to get Bailey in the scene and nobody was playing it. And now that it's being played by everybody, I was like, well, if anybody's going to be playing it and be known for it, it should be us. And like, and I want people to like, because oftentimes people even on SoundCloud will tag it as like Afro edit, which of course there's like, if you go in the roots, of course, absolutely. But then people, you know, get confused with like Afrobeats and this and that. And I'm like, okay, but if we're going to get specific, like, so we just kind of try to like redirect, like, okay, this is the roots, this is where it's from. And just so that, it's just represented. And so we're always going to be kind of obnoxious with the yellow and green, but
Have you guys played in Brazil yet?
No. And we're itching.
It's coming.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Do you have any plans for it?
We've been talking to our friend Jay. He's a Brazilian DJ now in LA as well. Yeah. He's super dope. Shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Jay.
Jay Bergquist.
Jay.
Yes. Him and his wife, they're from Rio. And so we were telling them, because we were at a Boiler Room set not too long ago, got the contact for them, and they're like, hey, if you guys ever want to do a Boiler Room in Brazil, like we're trying to do a Boiler Room in Brazil.
That'd be amazing.
And that's the dream. So we were talking to our friend Jay and just like seeing who they know and connect. So we're working on it. We're going to see how we can make this happen. I don't know if it will happen this year. Maybe it'll be top of next year type thing.
We're still building.
Because we want to do it right. That's the thing. We want to do it right. We're also kind of newer. We want to make sure to get our name out there. Because, you know, someone might be like, I didn't order a smoothie. Like, who's making it? I don't know. I always think, like, I wonder what people really think of the name. They probably like, that's whack.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so sick. So, like, Apartment 725, when you did that, is that like is it that up energy? Like, was that how that event was done? Is that what people experienced?
Yeah, I think it was just like, we did it last summer. It was our first one. And also we were super new and no one really knew us. So it was like kind of course, I think now we'd have a way bigger turnout, or hope that we would.
For sure.
But the energy was there, and we made the space feel, the reason we did Apartment 725 is we wanted a space that felt like you're in a home or with your homies.
Your auntie's house.
Your auntie's house.
Gotcha.
So we had
family
like
barbecue energy.
Love that. We had pictures of our grandparents on the wall, and we just kind of wanted to make people feel like at home, but like a lit home.
So, parents are gone.
The part you all want to be invited to.
And you know, I loved it because I know that those parties and all your sets are so lit, but then I also know that you do like 1-800 slow jams, and I feel like what's so sick is that that's a slow jam party, but I'm almost positive that energy is just exactly the same, high energy. Like you might be moving at a slower tempo, you might be singing instead of like that shoulder shit you be doing. But I think that like that's so dope. So is that kind of like, that's the Mango and Ginger experience? It's just like pure energy and just good vibes. That's what everyone experiences, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think with 1-800 Slow Jams, we were kind of like, okay, obviously people know already we do the lit, the high energy, but like we wanted people to know we can slow it down
versatility.
too.
Yeah, it's the love of music as
also,
well, which is so dope. Yeah.
And we love R&B, like
Of course.
love R&B. And so I was like, and there's a few really cool R&B parties in LA, but it's straight R&B. And so we're like, and there was always edits that I'd find that we would find that'd be like, oh, this is fire, but it's like just not the vibe enough for the parties that we're DJing. So we're like, where can we create a space where we can
Drop it down a little bit.
Yeah, DJ these dope edits that were like you can groove to, but
Yeah.
it's kind of in that middle pocket. So
It's a little two-step, a little faster.
yeah.
Like, how can we fuse the Isley Brothers and Wizkid in one night?
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah. That's hard.
I want to hear that edit.
I'm pretty sure we know the answer to this, but like most memorable set, most lit set to date is Link Up, correct?
Yeah. Pangea was a close second.
Yeah.
Close second. But we had all of our friends, like our close friends.
Yeah,
at
that
the
made a
Link Up,
difference,
That 100%. Just
Of course,
feels-
yeah. That's your home right there. Yeah. It's your tribe. Yeah, of course.
So what is next for Mango and Ginger?
Well, tonight
What's happening tonight?
we got dope event, y'all.
Is that
Bye.
right?
Monkey Bar.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Somewhere with friends.
Our friends here.
With our friends.
We're excited for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think like this was such a huge like international gig.
Pivot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like now, I think the biggest thing now is us moving back, or me moving back to LA, so we can actually have more time to devote to this. But I think now it's gonna be maybe more so like, maybe we would love to start trying to create our own edits and
Yeah.
that would be like,
Yeah.
and I know that takes time because we want to do it right.
Right.
So I don't know how quickly that's gonna happen, but definitely just honestly just keep putting our
Filling
name out
in the
there.
gaps.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hopefully, just like doing more dope events
Yeah.
and traveling more would be cool. And then the goal would be Boiler Room Brazil.
Yeah.
So that's the
That's-
dream.
that's
the
dream.
The
Yeah.
ultimate.
That's
yeah.
the
No,
dream.
but
If you
not
could
cap.
I mean, it sounds
Not
like
cap.
it's imminent.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
If you could have any set, any party, any artist, open, any whatever, what is that set?
Yeah.
What would that be?
Honestly, I think for me, I would.
Any team, could be the soccer in Brazil, soccer to like anything.
I would love to do the Boiler Room, but I want to do it in the favela, like where we could be up, like just be surrounded by like because that's the thing. There's a lot of Brazilians in LA. There's a lot of Brazilians in whatever different parts of the U.S. But unfortunately, the Brazilians that are really in it, they can't afford to come out to the U.S. They don't live in the U.S.
Right.
So, and those are the people that we want
Yeah.
to experience our set, and that we want to share that energy with. The people
parties.
who are doing the passinho and all the Brazilian like culture that everybody's like,
Yeah.
and we want those people.
Yeah.
And so I think we can only do that if we go to them.
Go to them.
We can't
Yeah.
bring them to us.
Yeah.
So I think for me, and I would think for you as well, I think that would be the dream. And then to just have like dope visual, just it would be incredible.
Honest.
That's a party I want to go to.
I think like without a doubt, you're probably, without even knowing it, inspiring so many other like women that could be potentially aspiring to be a DJ or maybe even venture into the event space. What advice would you give to these women, especially if they're like from a diverse background or something? What would you say, or how would you take your experience and maybe give some tips for somebody that's trying to do exactly what you guys are doing?
I'd say don't hold back and don't be afraid to like be fully authentic, because sometimes we can like question that, as humanity. It's just like, oh, what are these people gonna think? Am I doing too much? Or yeah, I think that honestly is a blockage. So if you can cut that part out.
Yeah, I think
Good.
so. I think like with anything in the arts, it's like you need to just be like committed to being true to yourself, right? So the second you're kind of like in between or unsure, or like trying to please everybody or do things a certain way because that's what they're doing or whatever, that's when like you can't fake the funk, you know? And so I think, yeah, just exactly what she's saying, like just be you, be authentic to like what you're about. And so if it's not your thing to get out there and start, you know, shaking ass, then it's okay. You don't have to incorporate it. You know, it's like if your thing is more like this or like that, you know, because I think people receive that no matter how it looks, no matter what you're presenting. If it's real and you're happy in that, and
People see that,
and people like they'll be into it.
yeah.
I look crazy when I'm DJing. Like when I'm really into it, I'm like doing this whole rock
yeah,
thing
well,
like
no,
this the
I'm
whole
making
time.
a crazy
I mean, there's
face.
people who
They
are
call me parrot.
like-
yeah, it's wild. But yeah, like you said, just who cares? You're having a great time.
You
and
just can't care because it's one
No.
of those things that's like, yeah, you just have to let go. Because that's also like, what is it about? Like, what is partying and enjoying, like, you know, music and dancing is like freedom.
Yes.
So you can't be, yeah.
not inside your head at all.
Exactly.
I think we got the answer already, but dream collaborator, like another DJ or artist or like somebody. Is it Sango? Like who? Because what we're doing right now, we're gonna manifest that shit right now, and then they gonna see this, and then they're gonna holler at you. Right? Just check your DMs, ignore all the dudes.
I mean, for
Never
me,
talked about
I think
this.
it would be, I would say Sango only because I know there's a million other amazing artists and DJs we want to work with. I'd say Sango out of like, it would be a full circle moment, I feel like, as far as our DJ journey together.
Yeah.
Her as an
Oh, for sure.
individual, I'm sure she has other artists, and you know,
Of course.
but as us as a duo,
Yeah.
I feel like Sango would be
Who's that
like,
guy?
Yeah.
Sango,
Circle
Sango.
moment.
Holler at your girls, man.
And then we could be backup dancers.
Just make sure we get the edit
That
pack
offer's
quick.
still
All right,
up.
we get it before it drops. So make sure we get that exclusive.
Exactly.
I think too, because even though he's not Brazilian, but he's been
About
like
the
he's
culture.
done
Oh,
his
Yeah.
gee.
homework,
Oh,
and he's gone to
yes.
Brazil a million times and has been in it. So even though he's not Brazilian, but he's done his homework. I think it's cool if you've like adapted the culture or became like, you know, you do it, but you've done your homework.
Your own as
You know,
well.
you're
Yeah.
doing it right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would feel like that would be